Hey everybody, welcome to episode 10 of Two Bitches on a Bench. We have had to adjust our location because the weather has turned to winter, boo.
Brr.
And so we have moved it inside. Today our podcast is about life outside the covers, which
Elaborate on that.
Okay, I'm going to elaborate on that. So, everybody, well, most people anyways, like their bed. They like to be cozied into their bed and they find a comfort and a safety and a, what else would you say in there? There's just an all around.
Your bed is your place.
Your bed is your place. And so this podcast is to figure out how to take that comfort and safety and all of that from life inside the covers to life outside the covers.
Mm-hmm.
Happy, positive, warm, safe, comfortable, all of those feelings. How do we carry them through to our day-to-day, whatever it is that we're doing? Bitch number 2. Would you like to offer some insight into that or what you think of that?
I am not sure because I love my bed.
She loves her bed a lot. Like Cookie Monster, or no, like, what's his name on Sesame Street in the garbage can?
Oscar.
Like Oscar loves his garbage can, you love your bed.
Yeah, I do love my bed. And it's not because my bed is really comfy or I really like my bedroom. Yeah, I don't know. I think the fact that I'm in my bed so often was the inspiration in this for you.
Yeah, it was. It was.
And I don't know how to explain it because I go to bed early and I'll be up in the morning on weekends, but I'll still be in my bed. And on very special occasions, I'll eat in my bed. But I don't like to do that because then I get crumbs in there.
Yes, Frankie from Grace and Frankie.
Yeah.
What was it she always had left in her bed?
Indian food.
Yes. Anyway.
But for me, it would be Mexican food or cereal.
Oh, Lord. Okay. So.
Hey, I ate an enchilada in my bed once.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway.
That, you understand, that makes me just tense right up.
Yeah, but do you want to explain your relationship with your bed?
Okay, so I nap on top of my bed, not under the covers, but nap on top of my bed.
Emphasis on the nap.
Yes. And I do not sleep in my bed most times. Maybe one night a week I sleep in my bed. Otherwise I sleep on the couch.
Yeah,
so
when
that can be another podcast for life inside the covers.
So when At Wolfington's Post stays at my house, at his beach house, and I say, do you want to go to bed? He goes running to the couch.
Well,
So.
Anyway, the point is, how do we carry that safety to day to day? So let's do a scenario. It's Monday morning. Okay, that's what. Yeah, that's what we need to try to change.
Yes.
How do you think I guess it's all mindset. It's mindset, power of positive thinking. Maybe it's creating a morning ritual to start the day. Maybe it's...
I think the biggest thing is finding the thing that you want to get up every day for.
That too.
I don't think it's really anything else because you can do that. You can do your morning rituals. You can go to bed early in order to get up late. You can have everything prepared so that morning comes easy. And when it doesn't matter.
Okay, so then, but okay, yes, I agree with that. But at the same time, no matter what, you could have whatever you wanted. Okay, let's say you're living in a beach house. Grace and Frankie, you're living in a beach house and you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that given outside forces, there's always going to be something, though, that's going to, for lack of a better term, make you bitchy.
Yeah.
So that's my point. That's my question. How do you stop the majority of bitchy to be less to almost none, like it is when you go to bed? Does that make sense?
No. I'm not. I feel like you're correlating two things that don't really correlate. I feel like thing one is
Big words.
thing one, big word, is the idea of being in bed and that you want to sleep your life away. That's what I take from it. Where I enjoy sleeping a lot. A lot.
You sleep more than I do.
And it's even to the point, I don't have naps. It's even to the point where I'm not tired, but I'll be in bed by 8 or earlier because I just feel like I don't have anything to do.
Okay.
So that's just my option. Well, I'll just go to bed.
So then for you, life inside the covers isn't necessarily about being safe and cozy and no stresses.
I think that's part of it. I enjoy being cozy in my bed. I think there's a part of that, but I think that the biggest thing, which I have talked with Christopher Lawrence, is that it's the sleeping your life away.
Right.
And it's the not having anything else going, that sleep is just the only option, I guess. But then part of it is that I'm also really tired.
Wolfington's Post, at Wolfington's Post, is weighing in on this conversation. Okay, and I guess we've had this conversation before then about finding something to uplift you, finding purpose.
Finding something to do.
Finding something to do. Well, your whole yoga journey that you're on has given you purpose, has it not?
Purpose isn't the right word.
Okay.
I don't think purpose is the right word.
Fine.
It's given me an outlet.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say purpose, no.
Okay, define purpose then.
I don't know, when you say purpose, it just makes me feel like this is what you're supposed to be, this is why you're here, this is what you live for.
Oh, Jesus, then I don't have a purpose.
Well, that's just my own definition. I really enjoy yoga. I struggle because when I go to class on Thursdays, I'm all super gung-ho and it's awesome, and then you get back into the real world and it's very difficult to make the time to continue practicing the lessons that were given on those Thursday nights. It's also one of those things too, it's a little bit tough because aside from having a yoga practice, doing theory stuff is kind of difficult to do on your own.
Because it's more of a group effort type of a discussion.
And for me, it makes it easier. I really connected with the yoga and spirituality teacher.
Yeah.
And I could listen to him talk and 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 talk. So it's really hard because philosophy is a very, very intangible thing. I struggle to do it outside of that sort of lecture environment, if that makes sense. Whereas something like, anatomy or mathematics, it's easy enough. You just pick up a book and you can start to memorize stuff, or you can do equations, or you can do problems. That doesn't really exist with this type of thing. If
Right.
that makes sense?
Yeah.
If that
But-
makes sense.
But you can't you look to books and stuff to help you with that?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, it's sort of that environment. So you get into this, it's a safe environment where you go to where I go to school, and it's just a very, very, I don't know, there's something about that space that's just very energy flowing and non-judgmental, and it makes it easy. Whereas you get out back into the real world, and it's like a bubble there.
Yeah.
And so the idea of this yoga, living yoga, is the idea of, for me, would be that bubble that I'm in when I'm there, that transcends into every day, all day, every day.
Right. And is that then working at a yoga studio? Is that how that would...
No, not necessarily. No, that's actually how you live your life.
Mm.
So it's your own bubble that you've created by thought and practice and philosophy.
So are you trying to do that?
Yeah, but it's a slow, yeah, it's hard because it's the same sort of, it goes hand in hand, I feel like, with what we're talking about, where it's creating, I don't know, I had a thought and it's gone now.
Her thought's gone. Anybody who finds that thought?
But I'm just thinking about what you said earlier about what can you do to be not bitchy and just live. Like, as an example, today we went for groceries, and bitch number one was really living up to her bitch and just mouthing at everything and everybody, and it's comical, but it's just kind of amazing where once you have a little bit of insight and you let that seep in, I don't know, it's like you took my mouthiness, added it to your mouthiness, and now that was you today. As an example, we were out and you were trying to make a U-turn, and this guy, there was lots of room for you to make the turn, but this guy was walking and you decided to wait, even though I don't know why you did, and then he ended up, he went around the corner, he had made no intention to cross the street, and you started cussing him out, which was really funny. But it's just really interesting how 4 weeks? Yeah, it'd be 4 weeks of this sort of yoga philosophy and spirituality, and there's not really any sort of practice to it, it's just awareness. All it is awareness. I don't know, but because it is awareness when I look back at it, but I wasn't aware in the situation. It just didn't even, I mean, things bother me, but I'm not at the point where I'm just like about it.
Like you used to be.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, because you were actually pretty calm in the grocery store too, and it was busy in there.
Yeah.
And lots of...
Stupid.
Yeah.
I will admit that people are stupid and they're brain dead.
Yeah, like no clue as to blocking the aisle or walking away from a cart or moving over to make room for somebody else. There was no concept of that, and you were just...
Yeah.
You flowed through that pretty good today. And that's
so
not you.
Funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really funny. And what's also, I mean, I don't know, it's hard to say, but when we were getting our groceries checked out, and I was collecting all the bags, so you were still facing the cashier, so you had your back to all of the other cashier lines, and I was collecting the stuff, and I noticed somebody from your past, being the boss at your last place, the nasty, narcissistic, sociopath boss, was in the checkout right beside us, like right, your back was to him. And it was just really interesting, because I sort of feel like I just handled that in a way that was just, okay, do not look, you keep your head down and just walk straight. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just really interesting.
Yeah,
Now that
it's weird.
I think about it, you got a little weirdo about it, but you didn't do that usual thing where you were like, where? And looking around. You listened very well
Oof.
to that. But you know what I mean? Because if I said, oh my God, don't look, oh my God, don't look, you'd be like, what? But I feel like having kept that calm, you went, okay, I'm going to keep my head down. This is freaking me out, but I'm going to keep my head down until we get out of the store.
Yeah.
And then I told you. I don't know.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Now that I look at that last hour and a half, you have been extremely calm. Yeah.
And it's weird because it's not an awareness within the situation, so I'm wondering if there's been some seeping of, not seeping like seeping.
Not Wolfington's Post seeping.
No, seepage of all of the stuff that I've learned over the past 4 weeks.
I think you have experienced a shift.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Because you're not as
Could be food too.
true.
Because even we went to the mall yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous in there. It was stupid.
Yeah.
Do not go to the mall, people. Christmas season has started. And I don't really recall getting huffy or
No, you didn't. Not like you
when
usually
people
do.
go really slow and then I've got to do my thing and then I've got to zoom past as if I'm kind of making a point.
Yeah, no, you didn't do that. Not once did you do that, which is interesting.
So it's weird to think. I mean, I don't want to go back to the mall. Like I'm not at a point where that just at all doesn't bother me.
No.
But it's interesting. I choose not to put myself in a position like that now. But yeah, I don't know. One of the things that I learned in the yoga philosophy module was that, I'm sorry, I've completely taken this over.
That's okay. That's okay. That's the point of the conversation, for you to take it over. I'm kidding.
Is that when you read something, any of those, posts of, I can't even really think of one right now, or, when a door shuts, it means another one's going to open, or something like that, instead of, because I know I used to be very much of the, well, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
No, it was the post, if a door shuts, that doesn't mean it's locked, you can reopen it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool, but when I read it, I'm going, what does that mean? What is that? I need an answer on this. One of the most important things that I took out of the yoga module is that you read things like this, especially when it comes to yoga, like old yoga philosophy, so any of the sutras or anything of Patanjali or the Bhagavad Gita, you read. All your job is to do is read. That's it. You don't memorize, you just read. Maybe you read it once or twice.
Okay.
And that's it. And an insight will come. It might come the next day, it might come a month from now, it might come years from now, but all of a sudden, that makes sense, and you go, oh! And it's not an answer, it's an insight. So I think for me, and I want to say for you as well, we expect answers.
Yeah.
And we don't ever get them.
Yeah.
So we put a lot of pressure on ourselves on reading something and saying, well, what does this mean? I don't get, what does this mean? What's the answer? But the answer isn't going to be there.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So there's something, and I'm trying to think. There's one of those kind of well-known, roll your eyes kind of sayings. What do you call them?
A saying?
Yeah, but there's another word for.
I don't know.
Anyway, turns of phrase.
Too sweet.
Too sweet, I think, means very quick.
It
Anyway.
It does. I was just being ridiculous.
Butchering the French language. That's a squeaky toy, just so you know. It's one of Ben's lamb chops. Anyway, but you get it when you read it. The words make sense. This word, this word, this word, and you go, okay, that makes sense. But you kind of go, well, how do I put this into practice? How do I make this a belief? How does this change my life? And it's interesting because all of a sudden, after all this time, I feel like whatever this saying is, I get it. Like it came across Instagram or whatever it was yesterday or today, and I kind of went, oh.
But you don't remember which one it was.
I can't remember which one it was.
Dang it.
Because I kind of went, oh. To read that phrase makes sense because all the words make sense and they make sense together. So that's not the issue. It's the putting it into practice, and I go, oh, okay. Yeah, so, and it makes me wonder also about the food thing then, where we've talked about, we understand the implications of living a Western diet lifestyle.
Yeah.
We understand that it means obesity, it means diabetes,
Cancer.
It means inflammation, cancer, heart disease, and
Foggy mind.
yeah.
Being tired.
Vision issues, everything. We understand the implications of not only what the Western diet, but our diets, and yet.
Our diet's not the Western diet.
Well, I'm talking about our specific diet.
You mean our hideous eating patterns? Specifically me?
Yeah, specifically you.
Thank you.
And I'm wondering if maybe it's not about you read the thing or you watch the documentary or whatever it is that all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I'm changing. I mean, with something, if you get diagnosed with diabetes, you need to make a change.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will lose limbs or you will die.
Yes.
But for us, where we've been very lucky with our health, very lucky,
Yes.
I wonder if it's something, if this is the same idea, where we're absorbing all this information. We know what the right answer is. We know.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of all of a sudden, we have that,
Epiphany.
oh my god.
The shift.
Yeah. The same thing as the same way that I was yesterday and today, being in public, I will admit, I'm not as bad of a driver, actually. I'm not as aggressive as a driver, I've noticed.
As who?
As me, as I used to be.
Oh.
Because I was aggressive.
Yeah, I know. You were scary.
Anytime somebody was stupid, I love to lay on the horn. And I love to beat people off. If somebody does something absolutely stupid, like if they're coming over into my lane, if they're coming over into my lane and they haven't signaled, they haven't checked, and they're going to cut me off, then I will honk at them, absolutely. And I might be like, oh, you're fucking dumb. But, beep, I'm not, yeah, it's...
Okay, so that's interesting then. So, may I?
Oh, may you take your podcast back? I guess so.
Just checking. I'm kidding. Ooh, Tiger look. I wonder then, okay. So in theory, to live a fulfilling life, let's say, I'm going to be really, spooky wooky, woo-woo right now. To live a fulfilling life is, in my mind, it's doing what you love, it's being around people that you want to be around, it's enjoying every single moment. Yes, you may have the occasional odd that happens, but you don't focus on it, you don't dwell on it, you just deal with it and move past it. And you think of, what are those guys that live in the mountains called again? Sages?
Oh,
a sage.
Good word.
Okay.
Because just as an aside, people like Eckhart Tolle, he's considered a yogi, but he doesn't like to be called that, so he's called sages, which is really funny. So that's what.
Okay, so let's use that as an example. Let's use like actual real ones though, okay? Well, you know what I mean. The ones who live in the mountains, the Himalayas.
Monks, shamans.
Yeah.
Those kind of guys, yeah.
Okay, so you look at their lifestyle, you look at their beliefs, you look at their food, and all of it of course would go hand in hand, but you bringing up the thing about diet, Western diet, and specifically, yes, my poor, terrible eating
Well,
habits.
and I've been like that too. I've gotten it in check this week, but I mean, it's only been a week.
Okay, but if you look at that, and maybe that is what it is, on how to bring that comfort of being under the covers out into everyday life stems from not only mindset, but the mindset that stems from the diet.
Yeah. Well,
but you also have to practice the thought process too.
Okay, but that's. I understand what you're saying, and I feel like this whole thought process thing, yes, but I also feel like this idea of the thought process and controlling your thoughts and always being positive and blah blah blah. I'm kind of disagreeing with that.
Okay.
I feel like that is a very, again, Western psychology, psychiatry type of thing, because it's not like I've been better. I have not been making an effort to be, oh, you can't say that about yourself. You can't say that about yourself. Oh, good thoughts, good thoughts. Or going into my mirror every day and saying, what? Oh, there's just one that I saw, and it's on Instagram. It's a picture of a cat, and he's standing up on the bathroom sink, and he's looking in the mirror. And he says, "I is smart, I is beautiful, I is intelligent," something like that. Yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
It's and I'm not discounting this, because I think that for so many people this does have a really good effect, and it's important and it works. I just don't think it works for me. So to say specifically that this is what you have to do, I don't know I agree with that. I don't think I agree with that.
Well, I don't think I said you have to do it.
Well, I feel like the way you were wording it is that these are the things in order to be successful in feeling better.
No, I'm still just trying to figure out how to make every day, how to enjoy life on the everyday side.
I don't know, because I do still struggle with that too.
And sometimes I feel we all have a job to do. Well, okay, most of us have a job to do. But I look at what I'm doing for work, and I question, what's the purpose? Like, why am I, like, what's the am I making anybody's life better by what I do?
Well, and I don't know that should really be the question. I think, am I making my life better? Because the other thing, which is a very phrase, is I think it was something like Gandhi or Buddha said it about well, it's that you can't help others. Wait, no, something about. It's a very, very famous one, and I can't think of what it is right now, but it's about, working on your inner self.
Yeah.
And that is what helps other people.
Right.
It's like the RuPaul thing. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else?
Yeah.
It's the same. You can apply that anywhere.
That's true.
So, I'm looking through my notes, because there's, we talked about this at one point in the last couple of weeks in my yoga class, and it's so there's 4 paths of the yoga practice, and I feel like this probably applies in many different spiritual beliefs. So the first one is selfless action / interaction, which is the idea of karma yoga. So in order to explore this, you ask yourself the question, what are my intentions and motives in active living and relationships?
Okay.
Then there's Bhakti Yoga, which is selfless devotion to the divine with heart opening. The question is, what experiences encourage my heart opening, peace, and love? Then there's Jnana Yoga, which is selfless or egoless intellectual inquiry for spiritual wisdom. And this question, what or who am I?
Oh, yikes.
Am I living my real self? And is my life aligned with life itself?
Yikes.
So the examples of that, to kind of give you a thought, a visual on imagining it, is swimming against the river.
Oh, okay.
So when you swim against the current, you're going to get hurt or you're going to drown. It's the same idea with life.
Oh.
Where if you're fighting against everything, you're going to get hurt or drown. Right? Just it's not
Holy.
it's not anything to answer. It's things to think about.
Yeah.
Things to inquire about. You keep these little nuggets in your brain, and they'll make sure you understand the question, that it means something to you, and then the answers will follow, because the answers will be there. And then there's Raja Yoga, which is selfless meditation evoking various levels of samadhi, which is something else which we don't really... So the self-question is, have I meditatively entered the utter stillness of pure awareness? Also considered transformation. The transformation of your consciousness.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the shift that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I just find these to be really interesting. So what's also really interesting is you can't start any sort of practice, whatever, anything new, without a question of inquiry.
Can you give me an example?
Well, that's these questions. So
Oh, okay, I see.
for me, the one that really resonated with me was the selfless intellectual inquiry of spiritual wisdom. And the self-question is, what or who am I? Am I living my real self? And is my life aligned with life, capital L, itself? Is my life aligned with life?
Yikes.
So in order for me to explore whatever this means, this living egolessly, spiritual wisdom, tapping into intuition, whatever, getting those answers, I have to ask myself a question. Because that's how it starts. You're not going to get the answer. You're going to ask yourself a question. Then down the road, another question's going to pop up. And then another one.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I thought that this was really cool based on... Yeah. And then there's also... I completely taken this over again.
That's okay.
So, I feel like these are kind of appropriate to what we're talking about in terms of you, and what we're specifically talking about is your job, but because I feel like you could apply these and it would make sense of why your job isn't working.
Well, yes.
Or what it is that you crave that would either give you the push to find out what it is that your purpose is, or make you realize, you know what, I'm fine at my job. I'm fine because I've got whatever else outside.
Well, and I think for me, on that part of it is I've let myself focus too much on the instead of being, okay, I've got this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So then there's also this other really cool thing, are called the gunas, or gunas.
Okay.
And they're the basis for self-understanding. So for mine, it's kind of like a pyramid.
Okay.
So how does this work? Okay, so first you've got tamas, which is inertia, sloth, heavy, stuckness, prejudice, addiction, which I know for me applies to me.
Right.
A lot. So the self-question, am I stuck anywhere? Am I prejudiced, depressed? So that's how you break through that guna.
Okay.
Is by self-inquiry on those questions.
Okay.
The next one is rajas, which is energetic, active, doing, compulsive activity. So self-question, I am compulsively active, excessively doing, strong and active help. So I feel like with these, my visual of this is that once you've broken through the first guna, then you get to the next one.
Yeah.
But each on their own are not good.
Gotcha.
Okay, so then we get to sattva, which is the third one, which is inquiring, illuminating, harmonizing, clarity, and aim at wisdom. So the self-question. Do I inquire into and understand life and my life? Do I bring light and balance to my tamas and rajas area, which are the first two? And am I moved towards consciousness transformation? So sattva, this third one, is affected by the other two gunas negatively. That's why you need to have them in balance. And that's why this one is so important.
So they're kind of like chakras. You can't open one unless the one before it is open.
I don't know if they're like chakras. I think that they might go hand in hand somehow.
Oh, interesting.
So gunas are...
How do you spell that?
Gunas.
Okay.
Gunas are... So this is for self-inquiry. This is very much the spiritual inside feeling stuff.
Okay.
Where chakras are actually energy.
Yeah.
So that's why I think they're related.
Right.
Rather than being, this is like this one.
Right.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I have also noticed a shift in the amount of time in my bed.
Yeah. So perhaps you're finding a path to life outside the covers.
Yeah. But I mean, I also take a lot of comfort in it, and like I said, I'm also in bed before I really feel like I need to be, because it's sort of that feeling of, well, I don't really have anything else to do.
Right.
So it's getting there, but there's still a habit, maybe, of being in bed early.
Probably, yeah.
So there's a comfort.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
There's a comfort in the habit.
So then maybe the whole process is finding comfort in other habits for life outside the covers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the hard part.
I know. I think I need to take a yoga philosophy class.
Yeah, it's very, very fascinating. It's mentally exhausting when you do it, but it's amazing because you kind of walk out of there and you're going, whoa, that was a lot of information. I don't feel like I got anything tangible, but it takes time.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. There was another girl in my class. I quite like her. She's funny. She's outspoken. She wrote a post a couple weeks ago, or she wrote a paragraph a couple weeks ago, which I asked to take a picture of, and I sent it to you because she's got this. I feel like she's got the same mindset that we do, where so getting up early, eating healthy, exercising, that's all my life is. Like, where's the enjoyment? But she's going through some nasty family stuff right now, and she said she was put into a situation on Thursday that before would have made her explosive, and she said she was just very about it, like very, what do you call this?
Even keeled.
Even keeled. she didn't get emotional. She said what she needed to say, and that was just it.
Wow.
So she noticed in something very important, in something that would obviously be a trigger. There's no reason why it wouldn't be. And she's noticed a difference. And the reason why I said awareness is before is that's the word she used. So it's interesting that she's finding awareness within the situation, but I'm not. I'm seeing it afterward.
Right, and that might be just you. Maybe everybody experiences it differently.
So it's just kind of surprising for me that I'm in these situations, I'm not aware of them, but it's afterward that I go, oh, that's cool. I didn't cuss at anybody in the grocery store today.
Interesting. You've given me a lot to think about. Do you have anything else you'd like to offer for this one right now?
I'm sorry I took over your podcast.
It's okay. I would like to continue this one and have an episode 2. I have a lot of thoughts happening, but I can't sort them at the moment. They're all just sort of,
Yeah, Yeah, so imagine having that. Imagine having 3 hours of that.
Yeah, I know. Holy. Okay. Can we have another podcast on this one?
Surely.
Is there anything else you'd like to offer at this point?
I don't think so. I think that was it.
Well, thank you.
Enough.
Thank you. Thank you, people who are listening. If anybody has anything to offer or to make comments or suggestions, as usual, please do at the bottom of the thingy.
Down here.
Down on the, we're
here.
pointing down. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Two Bitches on a Bench. And this particular episode was Life Outside the Covers. Bye.
Bye.